The Octo expansion was Nintendo's first ever DLC for the Splatoon franchise, Splatoon 2 to be more specific. The hype this thing had for its time was insane. And even after Splatoon 3's DLC, called Side Orders release, it was never able to capture the same feeling again. I might have already talked about this thing in the past, in my last Splatoon video, but like I promised, this will be a more in-depth exploration of this freaky ass world. After you bought the DLC, and trust me, this thing is worth its money, not like this thing right here, you enter the world of the Octo expansion through a dusty, disgusting metro. You wake up as an Octoling with this greasy old man from Splatoon 2 and 1 staring directly into your soul. This is the real metro experience, I'll tell ya. After threatening to end you right then and there, you two decided to team up for your shared goal of escaping the underground. To do so, you have to find certain fangs to escape. Why do you need to find them? Well, because Steve Jobs said so, silly. Right off the bat, this thing is a huge improvement in regard to the last two main games. There are a lot more cutscenes and expressive animation, which gives this thing a lot more character. When Splatoon 2 first came out, I was a bit disappointed, because the story mode felt like the first one with minor improvements. So this one is a really pleasant surprise. But not only that is awesome, but the whole vibe as well. The character designs and the dialogue are so cute and fun. Both Perla and Marina, which sadly had only a little role in the main game, are looking like 90s rappers right now. It's just so charming. Wait, is that Tupac? By the way, if you like this video so far, please like and subscribe, it would help a lot. We are almost at the 400 sub mark and I would love to reach that goal. But now let's continue. I just adore the clean art direction, and the 90s neon light atmosphere puts this in a way that makes it so much better than I could ever expected. I also appreciate the lore a whole lot. I was one of those guys in the main games that collected all the papers and pieced the lore together myself. So this game right here felt so rewarding. I mean, damn, this thing handled racism better than Detroit Become Human. And yes, I'm calling it a game, because in my opinion, this thing should count as its own game. It surpasses the first two story modes by a mile, and I'm 100% convinced this thing should have been Part 2's main game. Maybe I'm glazing this a bit too much, but hey, who cares? It's my video after all. Ain't I right? Now enough with the yapping and let's talk about the level structure and gameplay. The first thing noticeable is that instead of classic levels like in the main game, the levels feel more like challenges. Once you begin, you can choose a certain weapon or ability, which either makes this much more challenging or much easier. And trust me, this thing is not to be underestimated. It has this naturally difficulty that feels like it never gets frustrating or annoying. I mean, in some parts it gets frustrating, don't get me wrong, but in a good Dark Souls kind of way. Also, after you beat every level, you get a little collectible, which you can sell to Tony Sopranos over here to get some cool new items and clothes for the multiplayer. This gives the player much more motivation to actually finish all levels instead of only playing the story. Of course, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, because sometimes it does reuse some levels from the main game with just a little bit of a twist. This is especially apparent in some bosses. Now don't get me wrong, this is complaining on the highest level. This thing is awesome, but it's just this tiny little problem I have. What I do really like though is that this DLC teaches you a ton about your main weapon that the main game never quite did, because most levels are designed to be playable with all weapons. It's just good shit, man. But what I loved the most was the ending of the game. After we realized the things we were collecting are pieces for a blender and Steve Jobs, I mean the telephone, is actually a racist called Commander Tartar that wants all Inklings or Octolings dead, we get saved by Agent 3, our character from Splatoon 1. We managed to escape through a hole inside the ceiling, and now the finale begins. We are now presented with a handful of linear challenge levels to escape, and we start with a stealth section to retrieve our stolen weapons. This whole place feels so eerie and ominous. It's great, and piecing the puzzle pieces together to realize where you actually are is so rewarding. Once we finally reach the ceiling, Perla and Marina save us with the whole ass cavalry, but only then we realize where we actually have been completing challenges the entire time. A giant human statue with the racist telephone inside appears out of the ocean, and Commander Tartar gives us a little bit of a lore dump. So the telephone was created by one of the last humans, a scientist to be more specific, and was programmed to build a new civilization and help them improve once the humans died out. But once the telephone saw the wars the Inklings and Octolings committed, it became so racist it became sentient and chose to kill us all with this weapon of mass destruction right here. But don't worry, Tupac already has a plan. If we paint the whole thing with paint, it can generate enough power to fire the weapon. So you can use this momentum to make Pearl use her ult and destroy the whole thing. Is it corny? Yeah, but I love it anyways. By the way, I love the MS Paint skills of Marina. It almost looks like one of my animations. So, with that plan in mind, we jump on the statue and the final battle begins. We now have a timer of 3 minutes to paint the entire thing. We are able to do so with these bombs that are dropped on top of the statue. Occasionally, with the timer in mind and this godly soundtrack, we decide to do the impossible and destroy the whole thing. And don't underestimate this finale either. If you don't have a system, you will lose and everyone dies. But don't worry, we of course won. The racist old telephone dies and we look at the sunset with this amazing soundtrack. I always love the credits of this game. It just feels so rewarding finally finishing this. This game was an awesome experience and I recommend it to everyone if possible. It's so creative and great, and I just wish Nintendo would put the same passion into DLCs that they used to. Donkey Kong Bonanza's DLC is just a scam and it makes me so sad. But with that in mind, I will always look fondly back at Splatoon 2's Octo expansion. If you want me to talk about Splatoon 3's DLC side order, please let me know in the comments. And now, see ya and have an awesome day as well.